Hi, welcome to my video on rational expression word problems, part 2. And this one will be on reciprocals. Let's do an example. We're going to solve each of these problems. Let's do some first to show you what's going on. Find the numbers or number when the triple the reciprocal of a number minus 6 times the number is negative 7. So we'll let x be the number, and then as a result we'll let 1 over x be the reciprocal. Reciprocal is just a number turned upside down. So let's see, find the number when triple the reciprocal of a number. So you triple the reciprocal, so it's 3 times the reciprocal, minus 6 times the number, instead of 6 times x, is negative 7. So that's the equation. So that's triple the reciprocal minus 6 times the number minus 7. So as a result, we're solving equations. So we have rational expressions in the bottom. Let's check the restrictions. Restrictions, the denominator has a x, so we can't have a 0. And the LCD is, there's only one denominator, so it's x. So let's simplify the equation first. 3 times 1 over x is 3 over x. Negative 6 times x is 6x, negative 7. Since the LCD is x, let's multiply each part of the equation by x. When we do that, the denominators cancel. X and x is 1, so that gives me a 3. Negative x times 6x is a negative 6x squared. And x times negative 7 is negative 7x. So since we have a quadratic, let's move all the terms to the left side in descending order. So negative 6x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0. And that means that we can multiply the whole equation by negative 1, because I do not want a negative leading coefficient. So 6x squared minus 7x minus 3 equals 0. So notice when you multiply negative 1 by every term, we get this trinomial, and negative 1 times 0 is 0. Now 6 is not a GCF, so we have to go through the product of 6 and negative 3 is negative 18. And the sum is negative 7. Sum is the number that's in front of the x. So what are the factors of 18? 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Which pair of factors will give you a 7? 18 and 1, no. 3 and 6, they add to give you 9 or 3. They add to give you 19 or subtract to get a 17. So it's 2 and 9. Since the product is negative, one of these numbers is positive and one is negative. So if the sum is negative, we must have a plus 2 minus 9. Multiply. Negative 18. Add. Negative 7. So we take the 6x squared and the negative 3 and we split them. Separate them. And we take the two factors of a plus 2x minus 9x and we put it in the middle, because when you add these two factors you get a negative 7. 2x is the GCF, so we get 3x plus 1. When we divide these two terms by 2x, we have a negative. So if that's a negative, whatever that sign is, that's what we put there. 3 is a GCF. So negative 9x divided by negative 3 is 3x. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is plus 1. So that gives us 3x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. We take the 3x plus 1 out, we get a 2x left. We take the 3x plus 1 out of here, we get a minus 3. So that factors into 3x plus 1 and 2x minus 3. So we let each of those factors equal to 0. Okay, and we solve 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. X is negative 1/3. 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. So the numbers are negative 1/3 or negative 3 over 2. Either one will do. If you get the reciprocal of those numbers and plug it back in and work it out. So that's one done. Let's try the next one. One number is 3 more than the other. The sum of the reciprocals is a half. Find the numbers. So we'll let x be one number, and we'll let one number is 3 more than the other, so the other number is x plus 3. More than means add. So the reciprocals of x is 1 over x. The reciprocal of x plus 3 is 1 over x plus 3. So that's the sum of the reciprocals. So the sum is 1 over x, add on 1 over x plus 3, and the reciprocals will give you the sum is a half. Again, let's do the restrictions. Restrictions, I got x as the denominator, so we got a 0. I got an x plus 3, so it's a negative 3. You can't have a 0 in the bottom, so that's why we can't have a 0 for x, because it gives me 0 denominator. We can't have negative 3, because negative 3 plus 3 gives you 0. So let's pick up the LCD. We have a denominator of a 2 and an x plus 3. So that means we'll multiply, and I'll write this down here. I'll write that's going to be 2x times x plus 3 times 1 over x, and 2x and x plus 3 times 1 over x plus 3 equals 2x x plus 3 times 1/2. So notice I put them all down here, not to cram them in. And when we multiply all the terms by the LCD, the denominators will cancel. So x cancels into 2x times x plus 3. X cancels out, so we get 2 times x plus 3. X plus 3 cancels, and I get 2x times 1 equals, the 2 cancels, and I get an x times x plus 3. So let's simplify. We got to multiply these first. So 2x plus 6, add on 2x. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Simplify. I always simplify each side before I transpose. And since I have a quadratic, all terms go to the left side. And I got a 4x, negative 3x, plus 6 equals 0. So the x squared moved over to become a minus. The 3x moved over to become a minus. And when we simplify that, we get x squared plus x plus 6 equals 0. We multiply all terms by negative 1. It gives us x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Because negative 1 times 0 is 0. We got a quadratic, so this is factorable as x and x. Factors of 6 to give me a 1. 6 and 1 can't do it, so it must be a 3 and a 2. So if the product is negative, I must have a plus and a minus. So I got to have a negative 3 plus 2. Because the sum is negative 1. Multiply, negative 6, add, negative 1. So x minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. So x is 3, x is negative 2. So the numbers, I just write down this symbol, the numbers are 3 or 2. 3 or 2, they will fit this problem. 3 and a negative 2, both of them will fit the problem. So a 3 will fit or a negative 2 will fit. And again, you can work these out by working through and checking to see if you're right. Because of the length of the video, checking will make it way longer. And we have 2 here that we can do by practice. Practice means pause the video and work these out. So here we go. Pause and work these out. When you get it done, press play to see if you're right. Twice the reciprocal of a number plus the number is 3. Find the numbers. So we'll let x be the number. And we'll let, as a result, 1 over x be the reciprocal, which is automatic. So once I let x be the reciprocal, x be the number, reciprocal is just 1 over x. So twice the reciprocal. So that's twice the reciprocal plus the number is 3. So as I read it, that's what I write down. And so that's, let's see, we can check. Let's check the restrictions first before we start. The restrictions, I only have one denominator of x, so x can't, the restriction is 0. We can't have a 0 in the denominator. Let's simplify the equation. 2 over 1 times 1 over x is 2 over x plus x equals 3. So there's only one denominator and it's x, so the LCD is x. So we'll multiply the equation by x. Multiply every part of the equation by x. That will cancel the denominators. So x times 2 over x, the x cancels and I get a 2. X times x is x squared. And x times 3 is 3x. Quadratic, so we got x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. Because it's x squared, we will move it all the terms to the left side in descending order. And we have an x squared, so it's factorable. X squared is x and x. Factors of 2 are 2 and 1. And we have this product is positive 2, sum is negative 3, so we have a negative 2, negative 1. So x minus 2 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. X is 2, or x is 1. And again, if you plug each of these back in, you'll find that both of them work. So the numbers are, but next numbers are 2 or 1. Both of them will work. Number 2, again, pause the video and work this one out. 2 integers are consecutive odd. Well, let's check that now. Consecutive odd. Let's look at the integers. Consecutive odd. Give me some odd numbers that are consecutive. So we go 1, 3, 5, 7. They're consecutive odd. Notice the pattern that you got a 2 and a 2 and a 2. So if you let the first one be x, then the next one must be x plus 2. The next one must be add 2 on, must be x plus 4. And the next one must be x plus 6. Notice it's x, x plus 2, x plus 4, x plus 6 is the pattern. So what I do, I write down the numbers. Again, let's show you it consecutive. Let's say you have a 5, a 6, and a 7. So if the problem says consecutive, you can see that there's a 1 and a 1. So if you let the first one be x, then the next one is x plus 1. And the next one is going to be x plus 2. So you're adding 1 on as you go. So 7 is 5 plus 2. Anyway, that's how I do it. I write down the pattern and I make sure. So we have 2 consecutive odds. So I let x be. Well, let's read the problem. 3 times the reciprocal of the smaller integer subtracted from 10 times the reciprocal of the larger integer is 1. So since we have the consecutive integers, which is x and x plus 2, consecutive odd integers, the smaller one, let x be the smaller integer. And that means we're going to let x plus 2 be the larger integer. See, not only do we have 6 consecutive, but the problem talks about smaller and larger, so it's write that down. Now let's see if we can find it quick. 3 times the reciprocal of the smaller. 3 times the reciprocal of the smaller. So the reciprocal of the smaller is 1 over x. Subtracted from. So that's subtracted from. So let's That's subtracted from 10 times. So that means I have to go 10 times the reciprocal of the larger is 1. So notice it's not 3 times 1 over x subtract 10 times 1 over x plus 2. Subtracted from means you got to reverse it. So the 10 times the reciprocal is put in front, and the 3 times the reciprocal is put after. Note the pattern. Subtracted from reverses the order. So let's look at the restrictions in this equation. We have an x plus 2, so it's a minus 2, and we have an x, so it's 0. Now, let's simplify the equation. So 10 times, it's 10 over x plus 2, minus 3 over 1 times 1 over x is 3 over x, equals 1. Okay, notice I have a subtraction, so I'll go 10 over x plus 2, add on negative 3x equals 1, because I tried to eliminate this subtraction sign by adding on the opposite. Now we have an LCD. Let's see, I have an x is one factor, x plus 2 is the other. So I will multiply this equation by x times x plus 2. Again, I'll write that down. So x and x plus 2 multiplied by 10 over x plus 2. And I have x times x plus 2 times negative 3 over x, and x times x plus 2 multiplied by 1. So I multiplied each one of these parts of the equation by x times x plus 2. That means every denominator should cancel. They cancel, and I get a 10x. And the x cancels, and I get negative 3 times x plus 2. No cancellation here. I get x times x plus 2. Simplify the equation. I get a 10x minus 3x minus 6 equals x squared plus 2x. And we simplify, we get a 7x minus 6 equals x squared plus 2x. And the x squared goes to the left. The 7 didn't move, stays positive. The 2 moves, become negative, and the 6 didn't. So let's continue up here. So that gives me negative x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Multiplied by negative 1. X squared minus 5x minus 6. Let's see. Oh, that's a minus 6 there. So better be careful, see? That's a minus, and that's a minus. So this becomes a plus. Better be careful. When I move that there to there, I didn't change the sign. I gotta keep the minus. So that's a minus, that's a plus. Now this is factorable. X squared is x and x, the factors of 6. The factors have to add up to give you 6, so it's 1 times 6, so it's 3 times 2. Because this product is positive 6 and the sum is negative, I got 2 negatives. So it's got to be 3 and 2. So x minus 3 equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0. So x is 3, or x is 2. And it says they're consecutive integers. So consecutive odd. So that means I can't use the 2 because 2 is even. So if I got x, then I have to go with the next one. That's x. Now I have to go with x plus 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So the integers consecutive are 3 and 5. That's the integers that fit this problem. And hopefully you have an idea about reciprocals and solving the equation by multiplying the equation by the LCD, etc. If you like my video, click the like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, videos, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.